So I want to ask you a question. How long have you been teaching?
22 years.
You've been teaching 22 years. So now
Mhm.
here's my question. In your honest assessment, do you feel that in the 22 years that you have been teaching, the percentage of special needs kids has increased?
Absolutely. Yeah, and where I don't deal with them as much, special needs kids, that when they roll through my program, since I'm an instrumental music program, it's usually more special cases, and then the parents have to be comfortable enough with them trying it, whatever. So I don't get them so much myself, but the amount of increase in hiring employees with special needs certifications has increased exponentially in the past 22 years, exponentially.
Okay, so I've been teaching. I started teaching. I'm a martial arts instructor. I started teaching karate in the late 80s. By 1990, I was in 10th grade. I had a key to the karate studio. I was literally walking in, open up, running the karate studio, shutting it down. And being karate, especially in the 90s, especially in the 90s. We had kids that were sent to us specifically because they were special needs, and karate was almost like what people would diagnose. One of my students that I taught was a prominent child psychologist because he just rolled in with everybody. So we had, and when I tell you in like 1993, 1994, the number of kids that were absolute space cadets.
Mhm.
Here's the thing is that it's very, very unfortunate to see these kids that were space cadets and they were just on all these drugs because it was so new. That's my point is it was so new. People didn't really know how to handle it. And all of a sudden now you start hearing about terms like Ritalin. All of a sudden Ritalin was being thrown about, and now we have all these kids with ADD and ADHD, right? And then I get to about 2001 and I had a kid and I noticed that this kid, his behavior was what we would say it was more than ADD, ADHD. And that's when his mother looks at me and she goes, "Oh no, he has Asperger's." I'd never heard of Asperger's before. So I started teaching karate in 1989.
Mhm.
Right? By 1991, I had run a school full time where I was the number one person in charge, and this was a high enrollment karate studio. And then I had left and opened up a second karate studio. And in this second karate studio, I was running that whole thing too. I was supposed to purchase it. So I was as high level in this school as it gets. I was involved in all the private conversations with all the parents. I was involved in listening to diagnoses and IEPs and all that kind of stuff. I learned that I had an IEP. I never knew I had an IEP because I was in the gifted program when I was a kid, but I was very familiar with IEPs because all my kids had IEPs,
Yeah,
you know. But the
GIEP. Yeah. Mhm.
point is that um the numbers increased over and over and over and over and over again. And the reason why I'm saying this and the reason why I'm asking you this is that neither you nor I are biochemists. We are not in the pharmaceutical industry. We're just two guys who've been around for 50 plus years. All right.
Mhm.
Well, not me. I'm 49 and 10/12 years old.
Youngster.
Point is that we've been around a long time and we've both been working with children. And I'm just not buying the answer of, "Oh, no, it was always there. We just suppressed it. Oh, no, it was always there. We just didn't." It's like I can see with my own two eyes, and there's clearly a difference between a kid who has ADHD, a kid who has ADD, and a kid who has Asperger's. And
Mhm.
another one, just to throw it in there, is sensory issues. Sensory issues is something that started coming on my wavelength around 2008. So
Yeah,
I'm
it tracks.
teaching kids for almost 20 years, and then around 2008, I was talking with a woman who was a biologist last night, and she was telling me about how her daughter, born in 2002, she's concerned that maybe some of the medicines that her daughter was put on as an infant or why she has sensory issues throughout her life. And she's talking about her struggles. The point is that from a political perspective, a lot of people are shutting this down simply because that's what the politics say. And I don't understand why, if we all can see it with our own eyes, why people aren't willing to just go down this road and investigate a little further and see what we can come up with because it's obvious something is going on.
Well, let me back up to what you were saying a little bit earlier first. In our karate studio, we have been getting slightly more special needs kids, and also in music. I relate teaching music to teaching karate. They're very, very similar. I've actually written several papers on it. And for special needs kids, it's actually really great because while you may not be able to get the absolute best result, it's take an Asperger's kid or something like that. But the process alone for them is so beneficial for them. It's so healthy for them, and it helps their mind and it helps organize their thoughts, and it helps with their actions and their motor skills. So that's a wonderful thing as well. Now, backing up to, yeah, I believe that we still need to I don't see the problem with questioning how this came into being because it did increase dramatically over the course of my career, both at karate and at school. But there's a couple of factors that need to be taken into place that I will not discount. One, yes, we do understand autism better, so we're going to have more diagnosis. Now, that's definitely not going to explain the entire increase, but it can't be discounted to some degree, right? The other hand is because of that, it became overdiagnosed. I had a student once, and this was at school, not at karate. This is a high school kid, all over the place, couldn't sit down, whatever. I'm trying to conduct, rehearsal, and I'm like, dude, you got to sit down. He's like, I can't, I have ADHD. I'm like, well, now you're using that as an excuse. It's like, I understand you have a problem, but maybe we can try. Just, if you got to get up once in a while, that's fine, but you're up every half a second. Give it a shot. Sit down for a second. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not, like you said, I'm not a neurochemist. I don't know what's going on, but the people that are questioning, you're getting at the Tylenol thing, I'm guessing, right? You said, I mean,
Absolutely.
right. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's ridiculous that anybody is even discounting the thought that we're looking at it. We're investigating it. We want to find the reasons of it. The increase in autism rates is not just because of overdiagnosed. It's not just because we understand it better. It's because something is happening. And why would we attack the people that are going after it? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And to make it even worse, all the stuff that RF King Jr. said earlier this week tracks with things that have been coming out over time for the past decade, saying we need to look at acetaminophen in pregnancy because it could be causing autism. There is a link. They don't understand the link well, but that's your start. So I don't understand to the point where did you see that people are, there's women that are actually overdosing on this right now, just in spite of Trump? Have you seen that?
I mean, that's a meme come true.
Well, it's not a pleasant meme come true. It's the one you want to joke about and you hope never happens. But look, it happened. It's nuts. Got to find the root causes of TDS first. Then we can solve autism.
They still do the Darwin Awards.
Um,
Anybody who's overdosing on Tylenol just for a political statement is proving my point, which is, look, I'm not going to claim that I know. We talk about how you said something about how our advances in autism are greater today than they were, 20 years ago. But I will tell you,
understanding of it, yeah.
our understanding of it, yeah. But here's the thing: is that back in 2010, this is one of the things that a lot of people seem to forget. I had a student I had a student who was on the spectrum, and the mother, when she found out her daughter had, autism, she really, really educated herself. And I've watched her do all this autism support, autism education, and all these autism workshops and autism support groups, over the last 15 years. And a lot of this stuff tracks. And a lot of the people that she's been with a long time are saying, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
There was a guy who said, you know, I would like for my research to be proven wrong, because for it to be proven wrong means that we are doing an advancement, and that's the goal. And what people are doing right now is they're specifically stopping advancement simply for politics.
Well, that woman has a more scientific, objective scientific mind, and that's great. And I would hope that anybody that's remotely near the medical field, whether it's adjunct or they're actually in it, would have would have a discerning mind. It's completely messed everybody up right now. And once again, it falls back to what's the media throwing at us? They're ruining everything. All they do is twist everything possible and make everything a mess to the degree that my 19-year-old son literally doesn't know what to believe in life right now. He has no idea. And I don't blame him.
Clearly, the news is trying to steer people away. But here's my final conclusion on this, is that, not conclusion, but my final question is this. Okay. One of the things I heard was that, and this is going more to vaccines than acetaminophen, but the thing is that it has to do with outside interference. I
Uh-huh.
heard a number that said 1989 was the magic number where that's where the vaccine schedule grew to the point where all of a sudden these things started to become an issue. And my thought process is when I was a kid, now I don't know if everybody had this, but being a kid in the inner city, Black History Month was a big thing, and we did a lot of studying. So every year we learned about the same people. We learned about Frederick Douglass, we learned about Mary McLeod Bethune, we learned about Underground Railroad, and we also learned about George Washington Carver, who made the peanut great, to quote Run DMC, right? George Washington Carver made the peanut great. But anyway, point is that now peanut is all of a sudden poison. Peanut was never poison. It was
That's a good
never,
one.
it was absolutely, completely, and utterly inconceivable. And then one day, peanuts all of a sudden became poison, and we all went like this. Oh, hey, that's funny. That's all we said. We're like, oh, wow. And we made jokes about, dude, I'm pumped because peanuts don't kill me and they kill people today. These kids were acting like it was their dumb millennials and their peanut allergies. But here's the truth of the matter, they are victims probably of some type of an outside information. And I heard something that said the idea is that you're given this vaccine, and the vaccine is something that is designed to reject this outside um, virus or whatever that could affect you, right? So the kid takes the vaccine and then he goes home and he eats a peanut butter sandwich because that's what kids eat. And the thing is that the vaccine now associates the peanut as something bad, and now your body is conditioned otherwise. I'm not a chemist, but these are the types of things that make me go,